To further discuss this, I'm joined by Comrade Solomon Lenu, the former spokesperson, Coalition of River State Civil Society Organization. Thank you so much, Comrade Solomon, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me, News Center, and good morning, Nigeria.
Good morning. Now, I'm very curious to know, how will the Governor Fubara's vow to punish the culprits of the recent violent attacks impact the political stability of River State? Already we see that there's a bit of a, shake in the state with the political crisis going on. So how would this impact it, and what message does this send to the potential perpetrators?
Well, of course, first and foremost, it is important to let the people of Nigeria and River State know that there is a government in place, and then the actions of the governor, by setting up the panel of inquiry, will be a clear demonstration to let the world and Nigeria to know that there is actually a government in place. Because, of course, we are not a lawless society. We are a state ruled by law. We are a constitutional democracy. We are everything that we must do must be according to the books. And then for people who went to commit that act of arson on the various local government secretariats, if for any reason there were things that they were not comfortable about, I think the right thing to have been done would have been to seek redress in the various law courts that we have in Nigeria, and not to take laws into their hands. Of course, like you are showing on your screen, you see that these are properties that were built with taxpayers' money in the heat of this economic crunch that we are going through. Individuals who are supposed to be knowledgeable, who are supposed to be statesmen, who allow themselves, to be pushed by a single individual to go and destroy public properties, when we are currently having a strong economic crisis. So it is very important for that panel of inquiry to actually, be set up, and more importantly, to deliver on the mandate for which they have been given, so that perpetrators of this crime would not go scot-free, so that it will also serve as a deterrent, in the future. Because if you see today, things like this have happened in the past, and then at the end of the day, people will go scot-free, they won't be punished, and then it becomes a precedent and a trajectory that other people will want to follow, because they will always feel that they can do things like this and go free without being punished according to the law. So we in the civil society and all well-meaning people of River State are solidly behind the governor of River State, and we are encouraging him to get to the root of this. Let this not also, end up as a mere word of mouth where people will not be punished, because if that happens, of course, the trend will continue. So we as Rivers people, we are saying that whoever is responsible, no matter how highly placed they are, they must be brought to book, they must be cautioned, so that our own their River State will not be seen like a banana republic where people can wake up at any time they feel like and believe that they are above the law, because that is almost what we are seeing today. Today in River State, these actions that are happening is pointed towards one direction. It is all happening. Everybody knows that one particular individual, who has seen himself to be larger than life, is responsible for all what is happening. And then when this continues to happen, and that such individual is not called to, is not called to caution, of course, he begins to, continue in that life. And then again, more dangerously is the fact that people in other areas, in other parts of Nigeria, will begin to toe that path, believing that at some point in our country, one person might be bigger, than all the institutions of government. So it is very important for not just River State, but for all Nigerians to come together and condemn this action that has been happening in River State, and then join forces together to bring those people who are responsible, or whoever is responsible, to book, so that we can actually have the halt, to this spate of political rascality that we are having, in River State today, before it spreads across Nigeria. So that's the situation here in River State as we speak this morning.
Right. And going forward, how should the government engage with local communities to address the grievances and to prevent further violence?
Well, of course, I think it has to be through advocacy. There is no other way in a democracy that you can use to reach out to the people. I believe that the local governments, the local council chairmen, newly elected, are all prepped up, to hit the ground running. What they should do at this point is to organize town hall meetings and talk to the people at the local level within their constituents, and then reassure them, let them take the message of the governor to them and let them know that the new dawn, beckons. Because of course, the people at the grassroots has been yearning, for governance for a very long time. And I must tell Nigerians that for 8 solid years, there was no governance at the grassroots level. What we had in Rivers State were just decrees, by the whims and caprices, of the former governor of Rivers State, and there was no semblance of governance. So the people has been yearning, the people have been hungry for governance. So what the new, administrators, what the new chairmen have to do at this point is to go back home to the people, preach the gospel of the governor of the state, which is people's first, and not just preaching that gospel. They should also act it so that the people will have and feel the impact of governance at that level. And then if that is done, of course, in less than no time, everywhere will become, and then Rivers State will return back to the path of progress again. Because, of course, like local government administration is the 3rd year of government, which is the closest to the people and the most important year of government, which, of course, for the last almost a decade, has been absent here in Rivers State. So they have but I think it is not insurmountable.
Okay, Comrade Solomon Lenu, former spokesperson, Coalition of Rivers State Civil Society Organization. Thank you so much for joining us in the news.
Yeah, thank you for having me.